Hey everyone, hope they're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis, updated commodities, work our way through the dollar, yields, precious metals, and commodities ETFs that I follow. I'll interject my financial opinions as we go through it. And if you need help with anything, check out finding-value.com. We've got that special coupon code over there. It works both on the monthly and yearly memberships if you'd like to join. But that's where I dive deeper into these sectors, looking for investment opportunities and sharing them with everyone in the community. I'll be releasing a midweek update here late tonight or early tomorrow for you guys to view on my opinions on the individual companies that I follow. All right, let's dive in, take a look. Starting with the DXY, look what we've got here. Strength, stronger DXY, 0.5% stronger. So this falling wedge does look like it is in play. It's working, breaking higher. And you know what's the big driver of that, right? Higher interest rates. So stronger dollar, stronger rates. Now, what do we got here on the 2-year yield? This is looking like we could potentially break to the upside of this downtrend line and get out of this pattern here. We could see higher interest rates in the short term here. The 10 years up 1%. That's moving. That's moving. And we've had this pattern here was a breakout, retest, and then the move higher. It's exactly what we're seeing in the markets. And 30 here, breakout, retest, boom, higher. Higher across the spectrum on interest rates. TLT bond prices heading lower. We've got the bearish formation here to the downside, and that has broken lower. And today we're down 0.7%, and it looks like total garbage on the long term. Shoulder, head, shoulder topping pattern. It's broken all down, and we are continuing to go low. The U.S. 2-year, 10-year yield curve, the curve heading up a little bit today. We've been chopping sideways for this past little box there since April of 2025. So we've been chopping. TYX TNX ratio is down, so we're getting no tailwind for gold with this particular ratio, and we are still very low in this ratio. But could we come back and do this? We could. It is possible, and that wouldn't help gold necessarily. When this unwinds and the yield curve uninverts, it's generally when gold does really, really well. Gold's down $21 an ounce. We're on that support line still, and we'll see if we hold this. Now, is it possible that we could break lower? It's possible, so we'll watch and see what happens. Silver's down 1.6, but again, we are above support. This is a bullish formation, in my opinion. Generally, you get a big breakout. You get some small candlesticks coming back down for a retest breakout, and then we're going to fly. So get ready for the fly zone in silver at some point here soon. I don't know if it's this week or next week or the week after, but I think it's going to be very soon. Platinum down slightly, but again, this looks good and well poised to go higher. Palladium up a little bit. This is a support zone. So what we do is we break through resistance, consolidate a little bit on top, and then we rip again. I can't tell you how long the consolidation is. Generally, it's small, kind of selling pressure candlesticks up here a lot of the time. It doesn't happen all the time, but a lot of the time. And yeah, we'll see if we can get a jump higher off the support. XE to gold ratio down 1%, where the gold and silver mining companies underperformed gold itself today. Gold was down, and a lot of the times miners go down more than gold does. So that makes sense. And again, we're still very cheap. GDX down 1.59%. Still above critical support. Still looks okay to me. GDXJ down a little bit. Still looks good. Still looks tight. We've got a little wick at the bottom. Some buying pressure is present throughout the day. And SILJ down 1.5. But again, buying pressure present throughout the day. So if you look at a short-term chart, you'll see it come back up. So we fell earlier in the day and then came back up throughout the back half of the day, which is good. which is good. That's strength. People are buying. And we're underneath the all-important resistance trend line that we're just underneath here. So we're getting a little bit of resistance up there, a little bit of push lower, that is. Crude oil down 0.4%. We haven't been able to really move higher here. Just a small little candlestick. No follow through here, at least not yet. Generally, what I've seen in history, and it is not tracking at this moment, I see interest rates and crude oil generally go up together. They generally run together. I am surprised that interest rates are going up and crude oil is down, specifically this day that Trump tweeted. The day that Trump tweeted and got that big reversal day, highly suspicious, because this was a day that we're breaking out. We go to break out, and then all of a sudden this comes out, pushed us back lower. And then the reason it makes me suspicious is that we have a disconnect between the 10-year yield and crude oil, which kind of gives me a big question mark, like, what are they doing in the background here? TTF gas down 3.28. I know the weather has been, I'll say, non-conducive for TTF gas to really fly here. So it's chopping sideways. Nat gas in America up a little bit. But again, we've broken this pattern to the downside, so we could still see more downside out in the future. That is possible. Our boy XOP, yeah, you know me, down 2.22%, getting some selling pressure here. We are underneath a little bit of resistance coming through here, and we haven't broken through that yet. Could we head lower? That is a possibility. I'm not ruling that out. So we'll see if there's follow through here with the selling pressure or not. OIH down 3.29%, down a little bit. And again, longer term, it does look a little bit ugly. This isn't a great looking chart. You could also draw it like this, which is an inverted flag pattern that we could break to the downside in the short term. What does that mean then? What that means is that perhaps the market condition that we are in, which is a very weird one with interest rates going up, is conducive for a slowdown in the market with interest rates going up, and maybe gold and silver will continue to run. I find that difficult to believe with how interest rates are acting, but we'll see. Newcastle coal futures down 1.67%. But again, this looks like a bottoming pattern. And when you start to add this all up, this moving higher, it looks like a bottoming pattern to move higher. Oil generally follows this too. It follows coal and fertilizers and other things. And they've all basically bottomed and are moving higher. Uranium also runs with the energy team. This is broken to the upside. It's doing a retest. And a little bit of selling pressure today. And we're sitting on top of support, which is good. The uranium futures price up just ever so slightly, right on support. And then the equities saw a little bit of action, some buying action in the equities heading just a little bit higher for URA. But again, this looks really, really bullish because it's broken out from this resistance area. URNM is up 1.28%. That's looking good, decent. And then URNJ is up 1.21. That also looks good and decent. I'd like to see this get out of here and start moving. Nickel's up 0.4%, but we've been chopping sideways for the mostly. This looks good for a potential move higher. We just need to get the buyers to step in here. The sellers are basically exhausted. That's why it's been trading sideways. I'd be looking for a move higher at any point here. Copper down 0.05%. We're in this big flag pattern, and those generally break higher. This looks very, very good for a move on upwards. So the small sideways action is a bullish action. We got a little bit of selling pressure, a little bit of profit takers from this massive candlestick, and then I think we'll move higher. We're sitting on top of support. COPX down a little bit today, but again, this is a flag. It's a bullish formation. If it was bearish, you'd come out of the gate super hot with the big red. and then you come up with small greens, and then you start rolling over. This one's an upward facing coming back like that. Those are bullish formations. Lithium down slightly, and again, we've got a breakout of the trend. Sometimes they like to retest the trend, and I'm not saying that we're going to retest or not, but it does look like a double bottom, and I do think this will eventually go higher. Because of the broken down trend, because of the double bottom, the whole structure is breaking to the upside. REMX, we're right at resistance coming up here. We'll see if we can break through resistance, but we're up 0.5% today, and we're at resistance. Iron ore down 2.17. It was going for the breakout here, the full-on breakout, and got a little bit of denied of the breakout here. We're back within the pattern, but I do think this will break higher. This setup here looks good to break and move on up. It looks very, very strong. We just had a down day at resistance. Aluminum down. It does look like we could cycle maybe back lower. It's possible. We're still underneath that 2650 resistance. Very strong resistance as we continue. I mean, we tried to break there and it got blown out to the downside. Maybe JP Morgan was in there spoofing, right? Baltic Dry Index up 7.2. It's right there, the mark. That looks good to go higher. That looks really good for Baltic Dry Index. We've got the big pattern, the big squeeze. We're breaking. We broke out, did a retest, and we're working our way on up. I think we could see a big move. Emerging markets up 0.72%. Surprising with the stronger dollar, stronger yields. But looks like it's going higher anyway. Moves down 1.13. A little bit more selling pressure today. But again, I think we're going to go higher. Even if we do this, I still think we're going to go up on the longer time frame. KRE down 3.5%. That's a pretty big down day there. Ooh, coming back down. I'm surprised on this. We had a nice little setup here going. Nice big selling pressure. Man, maybe we come back and do a retest back where the X is. XHB also getting some selling pressure today. Probably deals with interest rates. That would be my guess. The stronger interest rates bringing us back to the breakout level. So maybe this is just a retest. I see that with a lot of the individual companies and home builders. Russell's down 2%, getting some selling pressure there. That is a bearish engulfing. We could see some downside pressure here. We'll see what follow through we get. S&P 500 getting that too. I'm going to take away the upward arrows. We could head lower or consolidate here for the S&P. You know what's driving that? Yields. 10-year yield. 10-year yield is going to weigh on this if the yields continue to go higher. And again, we got some selling pressure there. It's up 0.18. We'll see what occurs. Still in an uptrend. No reversal candlestick yet. Dow Jones coming off that resistance. There's the underside. Now, if this drops lower, which it looks like we could, and if the market starts to sell off, that would be your weakness in oil. Oil would be pricing in weakness of the stock market, perhaps. And gold and silver would head higher under those conditions, if that transpires the way that it is. Industrial continuing to head higher. This looks pretty good, but we do have a reversal candlestick. So I'm going to take this off. We'll see if we get any sort of follow through to the downside or if we just consolidate. We need to see follow through for this to really head lower. SMCI up at resistance, 7%. NVIDIA is also cruising higher, all-time highs. Bitcoin's down 3.25%. Pretty solid down day today. We had a reversal, the big wick at the top yesterday, and a little bit of follow through today. And if we continue to get follow through, I'm going to remove this and see what happens. Ethereum's still up 0.8. That still looks okay. It's working its way on up. Getting some selling pressure though. MicroStrategy's down 2%. It doesn't look that bad for that one. And the VIX up 1%. We'll see if this starts to spike or not. But right now it's controlled and underneath a lot of resistance. So that's what I've got for today, guys. Give me a thumb up for the content. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the website if you'd like. Specials that coupon code. And that's all I've got. So look for that midweek update if you're part of the community on the website. I'll release that probably later tonight or so. But that's all I've got. So we'll see you later. This is Finding Value.